Some locations become haunted long before the first ghost story is ever told. Not because of legends, but because of history. Places where suffering, isolation, and human tragedy became part of the landscape itself. And even decades or centuries later, something still lingers. At the base of Mount Fuji lies Aokigahara, a forest so dense, so unnaturally quiet, that even the wind struggles to move through it. But its reputation didn't begin with modern stories. The roots of Aokigahara's darkness stretch deep into history. During the 19th century, records describe a practice known as ubasute, the abandonment of the elderly during times of famine. While historians debate how widespread it was, the association alone cast a shadow over the region. Over time, the forest became a place where people went and never returned. Locals report a sense of being followed, even when alone. Emergency workers frequently report compasses malfunctioning, an overwhelming sense of being watched, and sudden disorientation, even for those familiar with the terrain. What makes Aokigahara most unsettling is not just what has happened there, but the way the forest seems to swallow sound itself, a silence that feels as if it's waiting. Do you think Aokigahara's silence is purely natural, or something far older watching from the trees? South of Venice lies Poveglia Island, a place avoided by locals, abandoned by authorities, and shrouded in centuries of suffering. Its history begins during the Black Death. Records show that the island was used as a quarantine zone, a holding place for thousands of infected men, women, and children. Many never left. Some were sent here simply because they showed symptoms. Centuries later, the island was repurposed again, this time as a mental health facility. Documentation from the early 20th century confirms that conditions were harsh and understaffed. Patients reported hearing voices, seeing figures in rooms that should have been empty, and experiencing severe paranoia. But the most disturbing reports came from staff who worked the night shifts. Footsteps echoing through hallways where no one walked, doors closing on their own, the sensation of being observed from upper floors long after the hospital was abandoned. Even after the facility was abandoned, nearby fishermen refused to approach the island. They claimed screams could still be heard at night, drifting across the water. Poveglia remains restricted to the public, officially because of safety concerns. Unofficially, some believe the island has witnessed too much suffering to ever rest. Is Poveglia simply a relic of tragedy, or can a place absorb the fear and pain left behind? When Eastern State Penitentiary opened in 1829, it was considered revolutionary, not for its compassion, but for its method. Prisoners were kept in complete silence and near total isolation. No speaking, no contact, no conversation. Many spent years hearing only their own thoughts and the muffled sounds of others losing their sanity. Historical records note frequent psychological breakdowns, hallucinations, screaming fits, and sudden violence, a facility built to break the mind, not rehabilitate it. Today, staff and visitors describe unexplained footsteps, whispers, and distant cries echoing through empty cell blocks. Even more disturbing, full-bodied figures seen at the ends of hallways, only to vanish when approached. Whether these are spirits or echoes of the emotional torment endured within these walls, Eastern State remains one of the most disturbing historical sites in the United States. Are the sounds heard inside these abandoned corridors echoes of the past, or something that never left? In the state of Rajasthan sits Bhangarh Fort. Once a bustling town, it was deserted suddenly, without any clear historical explanation. The Archaeological Survey of India has placed signs at the entrance warning visitors not to enter after sunset. Officially, it's due to safety. Unofficially, generations of locals believe the fort becomes active after dark. People who visited at night reported strange lights, voices calling out from empty rooms, and the feeling of being followed through the ruins. Historians point to the fort's turbulent past. It endured battles, invasions, famine, and a sudden depopulation that remains unclear. But the most consistent reports come from those who study the ruins today. Explorers describe the same phenomenon. The atmosphere shifts quickly as the sun sets. Birds fall silent, wind dies, and the ruins feel as though they are waiting for their original inhabitants to return. Why do you think these ruins empty so quickly at night? Fear, superstition, or intuition? Nestled in Gloucestershire stands the ancient Ram Inn, one of Britain's most long-standing sites of supernatural activity. Its foundations date back to the 12th century, built on land associated with pagan rituals and early religious conflicts. Historical documents confirm that the building served multiple purposes: a home, a courthouse, even a resting place for travelers. Over centuries, owners and guests reported the same unnerving experiences: heavy footsteps on empty floors, doors opening on their own, and sudden cold spots in rooms with no drafts. Some spoke of being pulled from their beds. Others claimed to see a tall shadow figure in the doorway, watching, unmoving. What makes the ancient Ram remarkable isn't just the activity, but how consistent and long-lasting the reports have been. If a place holds centuries of stories, can it ever truly become empty? History leaves marks. Not all of them fade. War, disease, isolation, fear. These places didn't become haunted by stories alone. They were shaped by events powerful enough to echo long after the people who lived them were gone. Whether the activity reported is supernatural, or simply the weight of history pressing through the walls, one thing is certain: some places don't forget, and something still lingers. If you enjoyed this video, maybe like and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious.